Welcome to the first episode of This Week in True Crime. Today, we're going to look at some of the recent developments in various cases that I've been following on aberrantnation.com. Photos of notorious serial killer Ted Bundy were found tucked away in an old safe in Colorado. The safe, which was in the offices of the Post-Independent, had not been opened in decades. Curious staff members had a locksmith crack it open to see what was inside. Some of the most interesting items were photos taken during the hunt and capture of Bundy in 1977 after one of his escapes from a Colorado jail. Bundy confessed to 30 murders before he was finally executed in the Florida electric chair in 1989. However, many, including his own attorney, believe the number of victims to be much higher. In fact, in 2012, Bundy's attorney, John Henry Brown, claimed that Bundy admitted to more than 100 murders. Of course, with Bundy long in the grave, we'll never have a definitive answer to the true number of murders committed by this monster. On August 7th, 2016, Vanessa Marcotte went for an afternoon jog near her mother's home in Princeton, Massachusetts. Vanessa, who lived in New York and worked for Google, often visited her mom. However, this would unfortunately be Vanessa's last visit. She never returned from her jog, and 7 hours later, police found her body. She'd been dragged off the side of the road, beaten, assaulted, strangled, and finally, the killer burned parts of her. This was likely an attempt to hide evidence, as it was apparent that Vanessa fought hard against her attacker. In fact, it was the DNA under her fingernails from fighting so hard that helped lead to the arrest of a man named Angel Colon-Ortiz. Ortiz fit the description given by a witness who claimed to have seen a Hispanic-looking man in the area of the murder. He was standing near a dark-colored SUV on the same day as the murder and around the same time. In early April, many months after the murder, an observant Massachusetts state trooper noticed a man who fit the description. The trooper took down the plate, followed up, and went to the Ortiz home, where he lived with his wife and children. No one was home, so the trooper left his card. Ortiz never contacted the trooper, so the trooper followed up and requested DNA. The DNA came back as a match, and Ortiz was arrested. During his arraignment on April 18th, he pled not guilty. His attorney said that Ortiz, who came to the country from Puerto Rico and drives a delivery truck, does not speak any English, so he may not have known he was giving a DNA sample or what it was for. DNA doesn't lie, but those who commit murder and their defense attorneys often do. Currently, Ortiz is being held on $10 million bail for aggravated assault and battery and assault with intent to rape. Murder charges are forthcoming. This case has some similarities to the one we just talked about. Karina Vetrano of Queens, New York was going to go out for a jog. She left in the afternoon to run on a trail that she and her father would run on often. However, she never returned. Later that night, her body was found off the trail where she'd been beaten and strangled to death. Like Vanessa Marcotte, Karina Vetrano did not die without putting up a fight. Again, DNA would help to find the murderer several months after the crime was committed. Janelle Lewis pleaded not guilty to the murder of Karina Vetrano, despite a confession given to the police where he said that he strangled her until she stopped moving. Part of the statement he gave to the detectives who questioned him read, "I was mad and I was walking on the trail listening to music. She was running toward me and I just lost it. She didn't do anything, I was just mad at the time. I beat her to let my emotions out. I never really meant to hurt her, it just happened." In addition to the confession, there is also DNA evidence that points to Lewis as the culprit. The Lewis family and supporters have nothing to say about the DNA evidence or the confession. They just say they will let it play out in court. One of the supporters of Lewis, Reverend Kevin McCall from the National Action Network, said it's a loss for two families. The Vetrano parents lost a daughter and the Lewis family has a child in the system. Now, I'm going to inject a personal opinion here. I think that what McCall is saying is BS. The Lewis family can still talk to their son. They can still visit him. However, the Vetrano family is never going to see their daughter again. They can't tell Karina that they love her. So it is a very big difference between the losses of these families, and they should not be equated. That is going to wrap it up for This Week in True Crime's first episode. Hopefully everything will go even smoother in the future. I know also there were countless other cases, crimes, and bits of interesting things that I wasn't able to cover, but I'm just one person, and these psychos, sociopaths, and all the asshats around just don't stop. So if you have any interest in true crime and want to know more, head over to my website, aberrantnation.com, which is updated just about every day. Until next time.